Hello everyone. Thank you, my amazing supporters, for all the love you've shown to my horror story channel. I'm sending that love right back to you. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking this scary video. It helps grow our creepy community and makes it possible for me to bring you even more stories like these. Tonight, I have 2 horror stories for you that will make you want to sleep with the lights on. So stay until the end and enjoy. I come from a family that seems cursed by childbirth. My grandmother took her last breath bringing my mother into the world. The doctors called it a complicated delivery, but my family called it fate. My mother met the same ghastly end, passing away seconds after I came squalling into the light. The parallels weren't lost on me as I grew older. I was told it was chance, a cruel coincidence, but my family never spoke openly about it. No stories, no bedtime scary revelations, just silence. It wasn't until my pregnancy that I started to hear the whispers, and oh, how I wish I hadn't. At first, I dismissed my looming apprehension as hormonal jitters. Every expectant parent feels that pang of fear, but mine was different. It was barbed, haunting, and seemingly inherited. I was 7 months along when my Aunt Clara, my mother's estranged cousine, came to visit. This, in itself, was peculiar. Clara was a recluse, the type of family member cloaked in rumors and dismissed as a harmless eccentric. One afternoon, as I sat knitting tiny booties and pretending everything was fine, Clara placed a hand on my shoulder. Her touch was cold, almost as if it wasn't meant to be there. Her whispered words still ring in my ears. Do you know why the women in our family don't make it past childbirth? Chills ran down my spine. My heartbeat drowned out all noise in the room. I muttered something incoherent about medical complications, hoping to end the conversation. But Clara wasn't deterred. Number, it's not medicine. It's him, the spirit attached to our bloodline. He claims every mother as a price for the child. The room shifted with unease. Clara explained that our family had been cursed decades ago, condemned by an ancient entity my ancestors had inadvertently provoked. Birth, it seemed, was the pivotal ritual that allowed him to claim a soul. You're next, my dear, Clara said with pity in her voice. And unless you give birth to a boy, the entity won't stop. I wanted to laugh. How ridiculous, how utterly unbelievable. Yet deep down, in a place my rational mind refused to acknowledge, I felt truth. Months passed, with an unsettling tension hanging over me. My baby, my sweet, innocent baby, was my only focus. I attended every prenatal appointment, pretending everything was fine. For now, my secret burden was mine alone to bear. When the 8-month ultrasound came, I forced myself to stay calm. The technician cheerfully bantered as he glided the wand over my swollen belly. I should have felt reassured, comforted by the strong heartbeat echoing across the screen. But something caught my eye. A shadow flickering for a split second beneath the figure of my baby. When I asked the technician about it, his face became impenetrable. He quickly ended the session, muttering something about machine glitches. That night, I spilled everything to my husband, Mark. The deaths, Clara's warning, the shadow. He listened closely, running his hands nervously through his hair. Finally he laughed. Nervous, dismissive. "Don't do this to yourself, Anna. You're stressed." His heartbeat was strong. "You're fine." But deep down, fine wasn't the word I believed anymore. The fateful day arrived sooner than expected. At 36 weeks, my water broke one stormy night, the rain drumming against the windows like a harbinger of doom. The labor was intense, far beyond what I'd prepared for. Each contraction felt like it was pulling not just at my body, but at my very soul. The delivery room buzzed with urgency. There were too many nurses, not enough answers, and a doctor murmuring words that sounded like prayers. Through the haze of pain, I caught half of Clara's prophecy playing out in tears. "Push." It was the last sound I registered before my vision blurred into white-hot agony. Through the din, I prayed to no god in particular. "Please, please, if someone's listening, make it a boy." And then silence. I saw my baby before I saw them. A nurse swaddled my child and placed them in my husband's shaking hands. Their cries were healthy, strong. I reached out weakly, tears streaming down my face. Mark leaned in, his face pale and trembling. "It's a girl." And just like that, I felt myself slipping away. My body betrayed me, as if the life within me wasn't mine to own anymore. I whispered my daughter's name, soft as a breeze, before the darkness claimed me. But that wasn't the end. I woke up. It wasn't heaven or hell or even a hospital room, just darkness. My limbs felt weightless, my breath absent. I wasn't alive anymore, but I wasn't gone. And then I saw her, my daughter, cradled in Clara's arms. "It wasn't supposed to be this way," Clara whispered, her tears soaking my child's tiny blanket. "It was meant to stop here." A shadow loomed behind them, larger than life, its form dripping with malice. And as I watched helplessly, timeless and bodiless, the entity whispered to my child, its next vessel. This wasn't my ending. This was hers. They say we have a primal sense, a natural instinct to feel when someone is watching us. A cold chill down the spine, goosebumps peppering your skin, an unshakable itch between your shoulder blades. It's human nature to sense these things, isn't it? But what if you didn't have that sense? What if the hairs at the back of your neck stayed stubbornly flat, no matter how much danger loomed nearby? For weeks, you felt nothing, no paranoia, no prickling instincts to warn you. And maybe that's why you haven't noticed the figure in the corner of your room. Not at first. You're a creature of comfort, a lover of habits. Every morning, your alarm blares at exactly 6 a.m. And every evening, you settle into bed around 10 p.m., brushing your teeth for 2 minutes precisely, tucking yourself in with your favorite playlist of bedtime scary stories. You enjoy horror stories, but only the fictional ones. Zombies, vampires, haunted dolls, characters that could never happen, so they don't scare you too much. What's real isn't scary, or so you tell yourself. It's only after a couple of weeks in your new apartment downtown that you start noticing changes. Nothing dramatic at first. A coffee cup in the sink that you swore you washed the night before. A jacket on the back of the chair that you always hang in the closet. Small, forgettable details, easy to dismiss. Stress, you think absently. The move had been overwhelming. Of course you're a little frazzled. Besides, your building is safe. comfortable. Beyond the occasional thump of your neighbours above, it's eerily quiet. But then the photos began to appear. They were Polaroids. Small, faded snapshots tucked neatly under your doormat. A photo of you sipping coffee by the window. Another of your front door cracked open at 10 p.m. And finally, one of you sleeping in bed. On a night you know for certain you locked the door. The police said there's not much they could do. Could be a prank, the officer muttered with a shrug, all but dismissing you from the precinct. But you know better. It's not a prank. It feels intentional, intimate. You feel exposed in your own home. But oddly enough, you don't feel afraid. You've always been good at rationalizing, convincing yourself that panic would do no good. Still, you take precautions. You check the locks 3 times before bed. You use a chair to jam against the door handle. You even download an app that listens for suspicious noises at night. And most importantly, you tell yourself it's over. But it isn't. On the last Tuesday of the month, it happens. You're halfway through a collection of creepypasta, beginning to drift off, when you notice a glow seeping through the crack under your closet door. At first you roll your eyes, annoyed that the faulty wiring you'd reported weeks ago still hasn't been fixed. You shuffle groggily toward the closet to turn the light off manually. Your hand pauses on the closet handle. There is no bulb in your closet. A jolt of adrenaline shoots through you, waking you better than a pot of freshly brewed coffee. Slowly, you back away, heart roaring in your chest. But before you can make it across the room, the light under the door blinks out. Just like that, your body freezes, but your mind races. Someone is in your closet. The realization hits you with the weight of 1,000 lead bricks. Whatever balance of calm you had left shatters. You throw open the front door and bolt. You don't remember running, but you must have. The next thing you remember is the fluorescent lighting of a police station. The officer across the desk raising an eyebrow skeptically as you stammer through your explanation. He sighs, glancing warily at your empty hands. And this person, did they take anything? Did they hurt you? No, you manage to mutter, voice hoarse. But I saw the light. I know someone's in there. The officer shifts uncomfortably. We'll check it out, he offers finally, though you can tell he doesn't believe you. You hear their murmurs when they leave to investigate. Criminal. Maybe. Crazy. More likely. When they return an hour later, you already know. No one was there. Everything's locked. You feel like screaming, but you don't know what's worse. The fact that they didn't find anyone, or the fact that they did. Not in the closet, but in the walls. Your apartment complex wasn't the fortress of safety you thought it was. Behind the walls, there was a network of crawl spaces, big enough for someone to squeeze through, enough for someone to maneuver, to watch. The maintenance manager swears up and down he didn't know, but you notice his hand shaking as he signs a statement. And the person? The one in your walls. They're never found. Probably ran off, the police say with a shrug, before leaving you with an awkward promise to call if anything turns up. You never even got a good look at their face. You move out the next week. Leaving feels bittersweet, but anywhere feels safer than that. Anywhere without walls that could hide shadows. And for a while, it works. You begin to relax again, Life feels almost normal, except you start catching it out of the corner of your eye, the faint glow of a light beneath a door that doesn't close quite right. And this time, you swear it's following you. That night, as you're settling into your apartment, your phone buzzes with a notification. Someone has tagged you in a social media post, a link to a blog you've never seen before. The title catches your eye. You're being watched, or are you? Your blood runs cold as you scroll through the entire story of your experience, written weeks before it happened. Every detail matches perfectly. The coffee cup, the Polaroids, the light beneath the door, even your escape to the police station. But that's not what terrifies you the most. What terrifies you is the timestamp. This blog post is dated 3 months into the future. And as you stare at your phone screen in horror, a new comment appears beneath the post. It's from your account, though you never wrote it. The best part about telling someone their future is watching them try to change it. But here's what they never understand. The very actions they take to prevent it are what make it happen in the first place. See you soon. The light in your room flickers once, twice, and then everything goes dark.